I wasn't expecting this tonight. First set of lambs, and we got triplets. Now I just gotta get her to the barn. Here, sheep. Let's get the little ones in here. There you go, Mama. All right, the first babies of the year. Good old 2155. Well, over there looks a little bit on the weak side. Let's make sure it gets some milk here. I wasn't sure this lamb was hers. It was laying separate from her. My guess is it was born first. Then she moved around a little bit, had the other two. She was almost laying on top of that one when I found her. See if we can get that thing to nurse. Leg in a bad spot there, Mama. Can you step forward? There you go. This one being the littler one, it might have got kind of pushed out. And my guess is, yep, it's a ewe. What are you? A ram? Are you a ram? Yep, that's a problem. As you can see, there's a difference in the sizes of these lambs. That one's pretty good size. This one is pretty good size. The other one over there is considerably smaller. Can't really get a view of it right now. These two are rams. The little one is a ewe. Sometimes that creates a problem because the ewe can only nurse two at a time. So somebody's going to get crowded out. It's generally going to be the smallest one. It's almost always going to be the ewe if there's two rams and a ewe. The rams are just a little bigger. They're more aggressive generally. The little ewe gets pushed out. I might see if I can get it to take a bottle. All right. Well, yesterday we had our first lambs. This ewe, number 2155, had a set of triplets. She had this, I think it was a 10.5 pound ram, an 8-pound ewe, and a 10.5 pound ram. And you might be asking, well, why is this one not with the others? The reason is because of her. So yesterday we had the set of triplets. The little ewe lamb back there, I've been thinking she needs a little help. She needs a little extra milk. She has a hard time fighting her two bigger brothers to get in there and get anything to eat. I've been trying her on a bottle a little bit. She's not taken to it very well. But then, when this ewe showed up with a 12-pound single ewe lamb, and it's only been a day since these others were born, I thought this will be a great time to try and graft this lamb over there. Now you might be asking, well, if the ewe lamb over here was the one needed help, why didn't I graft it to her? Well, the reason is I took the strongest lamb out of those three, the one that was able to put up the best fight to get in there and get something to eat, and that's the one I want to put on her. Now, I didn't get it videoed. I did, since I didn't have any afterbirth or any of that, like a lot of people say to do, I did take this lamb, trying to move around here before I don't step on him. I did take this little lamb and I kind of rubbed it up under her tail, got as much of her smell on this lamb as I could, but it's not very much. I'm probably going to have to resort to the headgate. When I first put the lamb over here with her, she didn't do too bad with it. She wasn't real aggressive, but the lamb was not hungry, so it wasn't really trying to eat. And I don't want to leave the lamb in there for her to knock around for no reason. So I put the lamb in this pen over here by itself for about an hour and a half. Enough time to let the lamb get a little bit hungry. Then I went over here and I held her in place and got that lamb to nurse, and it nursed really well. She kicked at it a little bit. She didn't really like it, but she didn't do too bad. So for tonight, since it's after 11 o'clock, I don't want to separate the lamb from her for very long in this other pen. I don't want her to learn that she's only got one. So I think I'm going to put her back in the headgate. She's not going to like it, but she's got hay, she's got water in there. She can stand up, she can lay down, and then I can put the lambs in there with her, and she's not very likely to injure the lambs because she can't butt them around. And this lamb is active enough, he can get out of her way if he needs to. But the more time they can spend together, the better. So, let's get her in the headgate. First thing we're going to do is get this little lamb out of the way so she doesn't get injured. And you might be asking, you're working with sheep, why do you have chaps on? And I can tell you why. It's been raining today and she's soaking wet. That hair really holds the water. Let me get her situated. So, girl, let's get turned around here. No, now go right in there. There you go. Come on, stick your head in. Come on. There you go. Stick it in there a little more. Don't mash my fingers. There we go. Now she has hay and water inside there. The good thing about these is she can't smell the lambs. And I have found about 3 days in that headgate, and they generally take the lambs. This one's trying to get a snack through the fence. Come here, little girl. Come on, little girl. There you go. Let's just mount this. You go in there with Mom. Oh, you want pee? You get peed on. Get as much of her smell on you as you can. Now this is actually her lamb over here. The other one is trying to nurse. She's not necessarily liking it. It seems that about 3 days of her milk going through that other lamb, and she will probably take it. It knows where the milk is, but it's not real hungry. It ate pretty good a few minutes ago. But even by having her in the head gate now, I can leave these lambs in here. The more that lamb spends time with her, the more it's going to smell like her. I'll get her a little more hay, refill her water bucket, and she'll be good for several hours there. Now, in several hours, I'm not going to let her out of the head gate. At least not with me standing right here with her. You just keep trying, little feller. You get in there. You're not hungry enough to really fight for it right now, are you? Girl. What are you being so difficult for? This little fella gets so beat. Now this is why I picked what I thought was the strongest of these triplets to put over here. He's got enough fight in him to get in here and help me. What you don't want is one that's weak. You're fighting with you to get her to let it nurse, and it gives up and goes and lays down. Very cool. There's in there too. And I'm mostly just trying to hold her still, put some downward pressure on her so she feels like she needs her legs under or she's going to fall down. I can't tell where that other lamb's at, if it's nursing or not. I'd like them both nurse at the same time. Let her get used to 2 lambs nursing. Some of this fight can be just because she doesn't like being in the headgate. But I got to get this milk through this lamb so he'll smell right. You're all right, girl. I feel that other lamb on my leg. I know it's not nursing. Get in here. Where you at? Come on, girl. If you stand still, I'll ease up the pressure. done. Get that other lamb in here. Look at that tail. Are you over there? Come here. Come here. Come here, little girl. Or you already ate. Did Mama stand here for you? You go ahead and eat. How are you, little fella? Well, you and your adopted mama getting along okay? How are you, little fella? Yeah. Y'all starting to get along better, aren't you? Some people may not like the headgate. They don't like using it like that. But I don't want to jinx myself, but I have not yet had a ewe that would not accept a lamb after spending some time in that headgate. My general rule of thumb is once they go in the headgate, they stay in it for 3 days. And I know that sounds cruel to some people, but she can stand up, she can lay down. She's got plenty of feed and water in there for her. And in 3 days, her milk has gone through the adopted lamb enough that it will smell like her. Might take her a few minutes when you first turn her out, but usually they take it all right. One thing I try to keep in mind on this is that the adopted lamb is already a couple of days old, so it is past the point of needing the colostrum or even being able to absorb the colostrum real well. And that's what she's producing is colostrum. So I kind of keep an eye on that lamb for the first day or two, pretty particular, make sure that it is getting enough to eat and it seems to have energy. As long as it seems to have energy, if it's laying down asleep and you come in and it gets up and stretches, it's probably doing okay. It's not walking around hunchbacked or tail tucked in. But I have had to give an enema to some of these because that thick colostrum just may not come out real well. I'll try to put a link up above there so you can see what I do to give it lamb and enema and you can see what's required of that and how I go about it. This little feller was hungry. And again, that's a good thing about picking the more aggressive lamb out of the triplets. He was able to go a little longer without eating and not get too weak. And now he's still got to fight to get in there and get some milk. You can see her own lamb over there actually has already gotten enough and laid down. Okay, I think they're done. Let's get her some hay and water and make sure she's happy. You're happy, aren't you? I'm getting plenty to eat now. I'm doing good. There you go, girl. Get your water. There you go. And that lamb just looks a lot better than it did. Having just one day of not having to fight for that milk. The little boy back there is doing all right. And this little girl's doing a lot better. A lot perkier. And we've got 2 lambs on her. This one is...